What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the ESL One Battlefield 4. We're in the Cup 2 now of the fall season, and alongside me is the ever so handsome Jason Kaplan.
This is weird. Usually Lauren's a jerk to me and she says I'm ugly.
Yeah.
It's nice to have someone that calls me handsome. Thank you.
That's right. So, Jason... What?
I'm sorry, just...
But, we did say this yesterday, guys, if you were there for the stream. This is my very first time in Studio 4, which basically means I'm producing it all. I'm pressing all the magical buttons and all the bells and whistles. And, I mean, that didn't go too badly. You guys are now, you know, you can hear what's going on. You can see us. We've made progress.
Yeah, fantastic job. I've taught you well, young Padawan.
Yes.
I'm still just waiting for you to notice the error that you still have yet to figure out of exactly what that is.
I've made an error.
Nope, still haven't. Okay,
No.
well, we'll get to it later.
Okay.
We'll get to it later. But what games do we have coming up today? Obviously, we have 3 games. They're going to be, what, 2 semifinals, 1 grand final, all best of 3s, and the winner will take home the 100 points. And I was going to say, more importantly, the money, because they do obviously get 500 euros for their team. But I don't know, there's also a lot of pride at stake here. We already had, last Cup, Epsilon beat Meet Your Makers in the grand finals. They actually took out Fnatic in the semifinals, which is really unexpected.
Yeah, we can see on the bracket. See, right now, look at Fnatic. We expected this, really. They have had their 2-0 sweeps so far. Planet Key didn't challenge them. Contrast to maybe on the stage finals, stage quarters, I believe they met, and Planet Key managed to take a map off them. So they do have it in them, obviously not at the moment. They are going to be up against MYM, though, in these semis, so that's maybe going to be their first real challenge. We saw how well played yesterday. Safe was on form, as was the entire MYM side. And over on the game we're going to be bringing you first, we do have Epsilon up against GC. So that, my friends, is exciting.
You sound so excited.
I was concentrating. I was concentrating on getting away from the brackets.
See, people don't realize how hard it is to actually do all the production and all the hosting
it's tough.
And everything. It's a lot of work, and I don't think we ever get valued enough. But either way, obviously, we have the map pool of Gomod Railway chosen by Gamers Connection, Zava chosen by Epsilon, and Perso Storm as the last map. 2 of my least favorite maps in this set of 3.
Not a fan?
No, I don't like Gomod Railway. I think we talked about it yesterday. I'm just not a big fan of the whole idea of, walking through... wrong thing there. But that whole idea of being able to take down all the buildings is just kind of, to me... is interesting. I don't know. It's like you were talking about Perso Storm kind of being similar.
A bit of evolution.
But if you walk across anywhere, you have so many different angles you can be shot from. It kind of it really is a pain to get anywhere in this map. But I believe we're actually about to get ready. Actually about to go live here. So let's go and drop us into game.
Jump into game.
Yeah, and let's see how this one goes here. I'll just go ahead and wow, that is in German. That is full on German.
Countdown.
When active, I think that means hide. Okay. So over on the Russian side, we will have Epsilon. Over on the Chinese side, we will have Gamers Connection. We have David, Duke, Horik, Mayak, and Marsu. And of course, we have Jika, Gia, Hexus, Hunter, and Fraud.
They're not the easiest names, are they?
No, they're definitely not here. And let's see how this one starts off.
Okay, let's jump straight into game. Maybe might turn that down a little bit. The explosions don't blow your eardrums out. And like we expected, we can see Duke is going to be man mode on the rooftops. These are the vantage points that you were talking about before.
All I hear is just explosions. It's just constantly explosions left and right here out of both these teams. Obviously try to take down the buildings. We have David working towards the C5. Looks like he will secure that here in just a few seconds. Gets a nice little kill on Lieutenant Hunter, who's actually the big man on the side of Gamers Connection for me, who's always made so many plays happen. He's always had fantastic KDAs across the group stages last season, and obviously into the playoffs live at Gamescom that we had in August. But either way, Epsilon, the team to beat right now, the one cut number 1, and we're going to see if they can take up number 2. Obviously, they already have, just from winning cut number 1, enough points to get into groups, but now it's about seeding, it's about placement. Where do you want to go? You obviously be, the top 1 seed will put you in the easiest group, so that's what they're looking forward to.
Well, yeah, they're fighting for it, and right now, looking pretty strong. Epsilon only throwing away 3 tickets so far. We can see 3 players around that B side. They're going to be swarming, actually pressuring on A. We can see Horek, or he was trying to, did get shut down there, as David looks to fill his boots right now. Charging forward, not going to happen again. The Ace-23 just a little too strong. And in the meantime, though, Duke PT roaming around, heavily tagged. He's going to be under some serious gunfire anytime. Oh, so there we go. That's what I was expecting. And it's going to be 145 now to 122. So Epsilon starting strong. And right now, it's more damage control for the opposing side.
Yeah, gamer section, they're not struggling just yet, but not having the best of games here. I like Epsilon's actually going for this kind of two-man squad over towards the side here to kind of keep this pressure, keep this kind of this alleyway, I guess we'll call it, even though it's not really an alleyway, locked down. Obviously, you'll be able to spot anyone coming through, and they're able to pick up quite a few kills, as you can see right there. So then we'll maintain control of B, or at least be able to go for the retake here in just a few seconds as GC going to be the man trying to defend it, trying to hold on to it. And he'll get one, and he will get the second as well with the hipfire coming in. So Horik and Meg both getting shut down. And of course, Meg, you guys remember that name from the first season that we had. I believe he's 17 now. I believe he is old enough to play in the group stages and playoffs, and obviously into the offline finals, where I know a lot of people are really curious to see him play, to see if he can live up to his online standard. But either way, let's see how this one breaks down. Epsilon, of course, nice little bit of a lead here, about 20 tickets. Not a huge lead here on Gold Motor Railway, but again, you know, Games Connection just to warm it up, getting their momentum going.
Yeah, spot on. I mean, talking about Railway, it's one of those maps that it can be. Sites can constantly change hands. Tickets really, unless you're getting a huge lead, do not mean as much as they do on perhaps maybe Locker and maps like that. Whereas right now we do see that B site change hands. A and B hold now in full motion for GC. And look at their setup. You can see on that tabletop they've got a nice control of that mid section down the road, and no one yet from Epsilon is going to try and challenge it. Bankai was going to try to cross, and he actually suffered a similar fate to anyone from Epsilon.
So this is what I was talking about hating. Or, you know, walking across the street is so damn difficult on this map because you can be shot from so many different sides. And they spent, what, the good minute and a half of the game already destroying buildings, and yet they're still being shot down every time they do go for the cross here. And you can see Epsilon, they finally have been able to make their way through from the east side. We have Fraud actually playing a super passive role here, sitting behind the rock. Trying to spot anyone coming through.
Pretty strong, because his presence alone. Oh, his presence alone. As I say that, two nades come flying in, landing into his top pocket. But his position alone forced two players there, two players from Epsilon to hunt him down, and it did delay their push onto B. But it has happened now. B site under control, and actually Bankai on the GC side is looking to question C's integrity, and he's done just that. David's the only man to defend it. You can see Bankai's going to try and take him down, and he's going to try and get some more ammo back into the gun. His name is Hexis, not Bankai. What is Bankai?
Bankai is a Bleach reference.
Oh, I see. This is why I should need to watch anime. I didn't understand his name.
It's a reference to, like, powering up. Okay. Kind of state.
So Hexis is powering up right now. He did actually go down.
Doesn't look like it. He's 8-5.
This is what we were calling, though. You know, we were saying about this map. 20-ticket lead has completely disappeared from under the feet of Epsilon. Right now, GC in the driving seat, albeit by only 10 tickets. We do see a potential trip cap coming in.
And look at Jika, 11-1 here. I don't know. I typically don't see him ever pull scorelines off like that.
That's a surprising score.
Well, we are seeing, I guess, exactly why Games Connection wanted to play this map here. They knew exactly how Epsilon wanted to go about it. You know, when they had Asterix on the team, used to play, you know, I'll show you really quickly, or slowly, I guess. He used to play kind of up here,
yeah.
And just kind of spot them out with an LMG and just kind of pick them off long range. And obviously, Asterix not on the team anymore. I think he got replaced by Mayak here. Actually, I'm not curious. I'm curious if he's with Epsilon still, or if he's with a new team. But either way, the tri-cap, it's been lasting for quite a long time. It will be broken towards the C flag here out of Epsilon. Explosion's still coming in left and right. But again, look at the hold. How to Gamer section here over towards this B site. They already have two men behind this building. They're trying to watch each other's sides. They can be obviously be flanked here, which it looks like the one man off to the side is going to be going for, which can be very dangerous. And Horik, that's what he does best. He always goes for the flanks. He always goes for the back caps, and he pulls it off so well. But to me, I don't know if you watched much of cut number one, but a lot of the team, or a lot of Epsilon, were struggling to kind of find their strategy, their momentum, because, yeah, they did obviously beat everyone and win the first cup, but they didn't look like the team they did prior. They didn't have the same strategy, the same game plans happening.
No, I don't think they were expecting this engineer class. 13-2. Obviously, this is the map where you are going to see the engineer class. David for Epsilon is doing the same thing, but that's just for that destruction, but also that close quarters SMG, sorry, is actually pretty effective in this CQB environment. And look at that, 1-for-1 there. Hexis trying to take down Marsu. Marsu's coming in for another one. Succeed in doing just that, and that C site is under some serious scrutiny. It's going to be a horrible name to pronounce. Ziaj coming around that corner. He is just going to miss out on that one. Jason's laughing at me.
Just Ziaj is...
I think Ziaj is a nice name to pronounce, actually. It rolls off the tongue. Ziaj.
He added a lot of J's to his name for some reason. He normally goes on the name Gia. I don't know why.
I like Ziaj.
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 That's too hard to say when we're supposed to still sick.
Yeah, you're right.
Bit.
Okay.
I can still hear how nasal I am.
Yeah, we're horrible right now. Oh, there it is.
I hit my cough button, but I guess I didn't hit it all the way down.
Oh, Jason
disgusting.
just broadcast a big snotty sniff. Anyway, moving swiftly on, let's look. 44 tickets to 73.
I apologize.
GC, I mean, admittedly being led by these two heavy fraggers in the form of Hexis and Jika, but in terms of general performance, this whole team has showed up today. They've held on to A site for a while. They're being a bit slow to pick up this B site right now. You can have a look at the overwork. They took a long time to move over from the A site, knowing that the Epsilon thrown their numbers towards C. But finally, Lieutenant Hunter has began capturing it. In the meantime, though, C site has changed hands. Horek and Mayek, the men behind that, the men in blue, as the Russian side. Oof. Mayek, big naughty with the Magnum, putting enemy in his place. In the meantime, though, B, anywhere Epsilon goes, they can claim that flag. I tell a lie, great defensive work there from Jika. He's 23 in hand. It's all it took to bring that B site back under GC control. The GC flag is flying high, and the tickets are starting to run away from Epsilon. 27 tickets, and look at them. It's going to be a trip cap. This is where they need to do some damage control. If that 64 ticket stands anywhere close to 60, that is going to be a damaging first half.
It really will be on going away, especially here. And I think your section found the weakness in Epsilon's picks. I mean, I don't know the other maps, or at least the order that it was picked or vetoed out in, but it's really kind of struggling right now because they've already been having a tough time in this one, and we're going to find out if they can do anything different.
Wow.
Marsu at 14-8, he's been really stepping up for their team, I have to say, in the last cup that we did see him. Obviously, number one. He's definitely been a top fragger for his team, where originally he was kind of more of an anchor role, more of a passive player. But David and Duke kind of haven't really been putting up the numbers that they've been known to do here, especially Meg, who's at 7-9 here. He's typically, had a 2 or higher KDA, back when we saw him in the first season. And obviously, I do apologize for the German you see on your screen. I can't read German, so I don't know how to even change it away from this. Was yours in German yesterday?
No, I think that's the change. We can fix that.
I think I know where it is now. Now I think about it. But let's do that after the first game here. But either way, looks like we're going to see potentially a 50-something ticket lead.
This is bad. This is really not good for Epsilon. They started so very strongly. GC, though, they dug into those positions, held them 10 times better than we have seen Epsilon do on this first half. But don't rule them out of it just yet. Anything beneath that 50, Epsilon will be happy with them. You have to consider that trip cap happened at 63. They managed to bring it down to just 50, but that is still a pretty large mountain that they're going to have to climb in this second half. B-site now changing hands. GC going to be in the driving seat of that one for the final ticket to tick away. And the number for you to remember is 52. 52 for that first half, 4 in favor of GC. The French lineup who'd performed so very strongly.
Yeah, what I'm worried about now is, Epsilon, they had the lead. They were winning in the beginning of the game. Remember, they had, 20-30 ticket advantage, and then they just completely lost it.
7.
Disappointed in him. He was at 11-1.
Yeah,
6 deaths
such a poor
with 9 kills. Come on. I mean, what kind of KDA is that? But yeah, he had a fantastic game, and I don't know if that was a fluke or if him just playing extremely well, but either way, fantastic job by him right there, and you can see if he can obviously carry it through on the Russian side here in that second half.
I'm interested to flag whether or not Epsilon are being challenged for the first time so far. We watched them yesterday, and they looked undeniably strong. However, watching them now, I think the maps we saw them on yesterday was... we did see them on Zavod and Paracel. Is that right? And
Walker and Storm.
Yeah, so Storm. I got it.
No, we didn't see him yesterday. That was Elevate. That was Mitrovic versus Elevate we saw.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely spot on. It was MYM we watched, and they were looking strong. I'm getting confused.
You're telling porcupines.
Too many good teams in this tournament.
Oh.
But yeah, no, sorry, I'm messing them up with MYM. But so we haven't actually seen Epsilon this tournament. Lies aside, but I mean, they're names that you're going to remember. Duke, PT, strong player, Horek, we've seen a lot of him. And you were mentioning stuff earlier about Mayek, maybe whether or not his legitimacy has been questioned before.
I didn't say that. No, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it definitely has been. I've been hearing things from some teams, not really buying it. Haven't really seen anything crazy out of him here so far, honestly, with the scoreline. But I don't know, his legitimacy has always been questioned back in Season 1. Even now, after talking to a couple of teams that they did play against. But we'll see. Obviously, it's kind of hard to judge things until you do see them at an offline environment if they do get there, which obviously they have group stages to worry about here. But looks like we'll be kicking off the second half here in just a few seconds, guys. Obviously, let us know who you guys think is going to win via Twitch chat or via Twitter at Machini TV and at Jason Kaplan. J Kaplan. At J Kaplan. There we go. I can't remember my own Twitter handle. That's not a good sign.
You got there eventually. So we'll jump into game and we can just see the beautiful camera control from Jason Kaplan there.
This is like my favorite part.
This is horrendous. You should stop.
What?
Oh,
Watch this.
I'm getting travel sick now.
Watch this. I thought I could go through the window.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I couldn't go through the window.
Let's jump into the actual gameplay then, as the poor camera controls are going to be relinquished.
You couldn't even do
Jason.
this third person, free cam stuff.
Because it looks awful.
What? Look at that explosion.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
It's way better than sunlight going through trees.
You know I'm a sucker for the battlefield sunlight. Alright, so right now it's going to be a little cheeky 2v2 form of Epsilon in these buildings. You can see the battle going on. If we actually, jumped into first person, we'd actually see what's going on. Instead, Jason's doing a
I'm trying to give you an overall view of the battlefield.
Oh, we're going to give us a great view of that Levolution. You can see the early building destruction. And the reason for that is it gives us that beautiful vision both through all the way on towards that seaside from spawn, but also it makes it very difficult to camp in this house.
More importantly, it gives sweet camera.
Sweet camera options, yeah.
Going through the building. But yeah, okay, fine. We'll go tabletop here. You're not going to shut down my artistic skills just yet here today. But either way, it looks like side of Gamers Connection have gotten control of the A flag. They haven't picked it up just yet, though. They're still trying to contest this B flag for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why when they could just go for A, but they definitely have their eyes set there to maintain it. They already have a little bit of a lead here, sitting on about 17. And we're going to see if that's going to obviously change any more here. As you see Hort pick a nice little kill onto Hunna. And A will finally turn hands here. But finally, Epsilon, they have the 2-1. They have the 2-1 that you're supposed to have with C and B. I'm going to find out if it can be maintained here. And look at this kind of line defense they have going across the whole map. They're definitely trying to keep Epsilon down here in the southwest side and trying to obviously just kind of not hurdle them in, but herd them into an area.
Herd, that's it. You guys, you just heard Jason Kaplan clicking thoughts. That's
it's snapping. I was like, what's the word I'm looking for? At least it's better than a snot thing.
Oh, that wasn't pleasant. Right, though, let's talk about this offensive. We're seeing 3 players. I'm looking at them right now. You can see in that bottom half of the map, Fraud and Mayek's there to receive them. Let's see what he's got. He's going on the rooftop. He's been with this Magnum a lot. I think he's kind of very persistent with that, and he's going to get paid the price. Hunter taking him down. Zia as well, as Fraud is going to come charging in, and this is going to be an assault on towards that B site. You can see Frod's actually retreating to hold A, but in the meantime, Jika is going to be the man capturing that B flag, and no one right now from Epsilon is going to question that. You're going to see him sitting in wait. Actually, it looks like Marsu is on the prowl, coming around on that outside area. Whether or not he's going to take it slow or bob and weave, this is an important play for him to make, especially whether or not he's waiting for the squad spawn. Does take down Jika, the man who captured B, but by that time, Hunter and his teammate Banker have managed to relocate into the game. What are you laughing at now?
Spanka.
What's his name?
Texas.
Oh. It's because there is a brand called Hexus, and I keep assuming that they're sponsored by Hexus.
That's a good point.
That's what I keep thinking. I keep trying to eliminate the sponsor.
It's your second day here at the job, I think we can let that one slide.
Oh, darn. Anyway, let's talk about tickets, because right now we're seeing almost a kind of mirrored image of how the first game started, or first half, I should say. 124, this time in favor of GC, and 108 to Epsilon. And Epsilon started strongly and finished weakly. Are we going to see the same thing going on here? A bit of overconfidence, perhaps, from GC.
Damn, David just shooting through the smoke right there. Picks up one kill by Hunter, does obviously respawn, picks up another, or at least turns it on to him. And Mac, unfortunately, will not connect onto the shots onto that man crossing. But either way, you can still see it's still 2-hold, going in favor here of Epsilon. Don't know for how much longer, as you can see, B going to be pushed in on. So Epsilon now going for the back cap, sort of, going for that A flag here. Duke, you can lead the charge into the building. And honestly, look for one man. You can see the building still being destroyed here left and right. Hunter kind of just trying to hide with what's left of that building, as he does obviously just back away from this one. But right now, they're kind of trying to go for a swap. They're trying to go for C. They're trying to maintain a B and C. As you can see, Hunter trying to hold on to that push that will eventually come in. Unfortunately, he will be taken down here. But Gamers Connection, they're struggling a little bit here to get a nice, strong hold.
Yeah, it's looking like they are a bit all over the place. Tickets don't quite resemble that, though. We are looking at a pretty level, or well, it looks level. We have to consider the 52 tickets that are currently under GC's belt. So Epsilon, they're clutching at straws, and they need to do something right now to answer it. At the moment, they're just letting GC dictate what they can and can't have, and that is not what you can do, especially when you're in a quarterfinal.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Gamers Connection, they lost in the quarterfinals last time.
Yeah, that's right.
In cut number 1 to MHSV, I believe it was. So obviously after this win or loss, they should have enough points to actually get into the group stages. Again, it all comes down to the seeding for them, and not to mention the pride. I mean, they really surprised Pans and I last season by coming through, having these really new, bold strategies, being really aggressive, super aggressive, I guess, is the term we can use for it. And they caught a lot of teams off guard, but right now it seems like they've kind of come aggression. They're playing more strategically here, and they're trying to just beat Epsilon on a map that obviously Epsilon's not too strong on.
Yeah, so we're going to see it yet again. It looks like GC are just holding the edge, and it's such a slight edge. That B site really is the determining factor, as this time we do see David, Marsu, and in fact the entire Epsilon team swarming all over this B flag. It's going to be Hunter to question them. He gets one. Marsu's going to look to try and return the favor. He gets one. The squad spawn was just not quite quick enough, and actually managed to take him down. And now we're going to see a swarm of blue. There is a sea of Russian soldiers all over this B flag, and it's going to start changing hands yet again.
Well, I'll see if they can maintain this again. It's been always about that.
It's really back and forth.
Yeah, it's always been about the one flag that's always in contention here. But they have a nice 2-1. They have the cross completely locked down here. And so they need to be quick about this. Remember, they don't have a lot of tickets to work with. They're down to 52, which will be that threshold for them. And that's 30 tickets left to work with here. So they're going to start to push in towards the B flag. Jika will be taken down from the flank here. Now it's, come on, it's up dying everyone I go to. I hate that. And Gia, okay, he will be the man to stay alive for a little bit longer and try to maintain this B flag. But A is being contested. You see on the backside, it looks like it will be held on to for a little bit longer. Obviously picking up the 1-for-1 trade, but the rest of Gamers Connection, they're going to make the move onto the C flag. So they're honestly looking pretty strong here. If they can pick up this 2-1 within the next few seconds and then maybe get a squad wipe or at least a clean couple of kills, they'll actually pull out the first win.
That's going to be very important in this best of 3 second map. You have to remember that this map here, Gulman, was chosen by GC. So GC are well within their right to win this with a huge advantage. Epsilon may be going to be accepting that this is a map that GC have practiced, or whether or not this is something that Epsilon maybe would have chosen themselves. That's another question that should be raised as well. The second map, though, is going to be Zavod, as Frod is just going man mode, does finally get taken down by Master with the Magnum. We're seeing a lot more Magnum after the patch, and I think people in chat are discussing that as well. It's worth mentioning that the Magnum is going to perhaps be seen a bit more with the lack of trigger delay. But regardless, 79 to 61 now. We do see the tickets slipping away. Remember, we're getting dangerously close to that 52. I don't think Epsilon have it in them, especially with that AC hold. Epsilon do have something to answer for it. They've got A and C. It looks like they're going for B, and if they can hold this trip cap, that is a squad wipe. If they can hold this trip cap, this may very well, what is only being considered a dream, could be becoming a reality.
They gotta be very careful though. They have 8 tickets left to work with here, and the C flag will be maintained, but they left A completely wide open.
B
hasn't even been capped over just yet.
Oh, I was getting so excited.
This will be at least one flag going back in their hands, but now down to 7 tickets left to work with here. You see, Sun Gamers Collection have 60 left to work with. Like, that kind of just a numbers game at this point.
Yeah.
Just 7 kills and you're good to go here. And Duke going down, he won't even have a chance for a revive. That will take it down to about 6 here. And Gamers Collection, I mean, they need to be careful. They can't let too much momentum switch over to Epsilon's side, but they can still feel pretty confident that they're going to win this one, especially with these kills coming in.
It certainly is the case that GC have just got this huge pillow of tickets, a ticket pillow. I don't know how comfortable a ticket pillow would be, but they currently have one, and it's a
ticket buffer.
It's got about 47 tickets within it in the ticket pillow case.
You're still running with that.
Yeah, I'm making it work.
All right.
I'm making it work. Still,
I would have given up. I would have been like, all right, that was just bad. I'm just gonna move on. But you're not gonna let go. You're pulling a rose.
I'm persistent. Yeah. Right now we do see four, Alex? What are you trying to say? 2 is the number I was looking for. A and B under GC control. It's going to be the salt in the wound and the GG's in chat for that first half. Duke PT for Epsilon says, I love internet in the chat, so it's worth raising that he's perhaps complaining about ping. We'll have a little look at his ping. 65. Considering the people we casted from Team Berserk having 280, he has nothing to complain about.
That's what we're talking about, you know, having 180 difference between him and someone else. With the Berserk game that we saw, is just millions of times worse. I mean, I even said yesterday that people complain about, you know, having 60 ping higher.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. In FPS games, 60 ping is a big difference. Whether it's, you know, Battlefield, whether it's Call of Duty, whether it's Counter-Strike, whether it's anything else, 60 ping is a lot. But what can you do? I mean, at least you're not living in the United States where it's really well, it's really bad, because if you're playing West Coast to East Coast, you have about 120 ping. And you can't really play competitively that well with that ping.
That's why it's all about the lands.
Europe's
it's all
spoiled.
about the LAN events. So we're going to be jumping into Zavod, a map we saw yesterday, a map I really do enjoy, alongside Dawnbreaker. They're my 2 faves. I know you're not a big fan of Dawnbreaker. The Dawnbreaker. Which one did you express? Just explicit.
Railway.
It's Railway.
I hate Railway.
I don't like Railway.
If I had a choice between saving that. No, never mind. I was thinking about the conversation we had earlier in the office, and I shouldn't go down that road again.
No.
At least on air.
Let's not do that. Right. Just waiting on Hexus to load into the game. But regardless, I don't think Duke is allowed to bring Ping into this. I don't want to start talking about Ping again. And so maybe they're looking at Zia just because he's got 15. That's all they're complaining about. Not really allowed, I don't think. But regardless, on this map, obviously they're going to be looking for that favourable BC hold. A can really be the kind of determining factor when you look at this map, because there's always that player. Horek is especially good at it for Team Epsilon. He's always that horrible kind of cheeky push. I'm trying to think of the exact word. I can't quite think of it, but the man who's always going to be, the back cap, exactly. He's just going to be roaming around, being the buzzing bee, always just irritating you around that A flag. And I'm sure he is going to be doing exactly that last time. In fact, yesterday I hyped up Jera for being that kind of filling that role, and he didn't quite do it. So we may see if Horek can make me a happy man. 45 seconds. So we're actually going to be going into this one. All the players have loaded in, and we're going to see. Oh, is it time for sunshine? Can you put the sunshine on screen?
I can do that for you.
Let's see the beautiful Zavod's sun. It looks like kind of like a 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. You know, chilling. The sky's out. It's going to be dark soon. Beautiful treetops as you glisten across the mountains.
Yeah, let's not look at that anymore.
It's a beautiful day on Zavod.
Let's go somewhere better.
You're going down to the depths.
This is my area. It's dark and grimy. There's mold infested everywhere. Right under that staircase. Harry Potter.
Hello, Harry.
You're a wizard, Harry.
You're a BF4 player, Harry.
See, you have an accent. You can say that. Do I have an accent? Actually, you know what? Let's just.
Do you have an accent? What kind of question is that?
Because to me, you have an accent, but I think to you, I have an accent.
That's exactly the case. That's because we're from different parts of the world.
I'm from the better place, and you're from the worst place. But either way, Epsilon over on the Russian side here, and Gamer Section up one map here over on the US side, far superior than the England side. And let's see how this one goes. Going to be contested here. It's already early capped over to the Epsilon side here, but there's Gamer Connection trying to do something about it. Unfortunately, Duke will take down both of the players there, and then we'll allow them an early 2-1 here, though. Gia's still here. Unfortunately, will fall as well. And now Gamer's Connection need to be a little bit worried here. This is Epsilon's map choice. They have to be careful about this one. Yeah, they do have a one-map lead here, but that can slip very, very quickly, especially on a map like Zavod.
Yeah, and it's a map that kind of doesn't stop. It's a map that always is this fast pace, which I do really enjoy to see. We can see Horek kind of running around in the bushes, trying to roam. He knows that A is going to be starting to get challenged, and he's on his way, going into the depths. He's going to be caught out. Nice play there from Hexus, and not Banker, as I have been calling him.
It's Bankai.
In the end, though, we do see BC hold. We do see that's quite standard. Nice pickup from Epsilon. They're going to be trying to hold on to this one, but I think with those 4 players swarming now over this C flag, it's going to get messy. Frod, the man leading the charge at the moment, charging around. He knows he's going to find one, but he loses out on the 1v1. The man that murdered him, Mayek, is going to look for a second, and he's not going to succeed in doing so. In the meantime, Horek is... I haven't seen Horek not in a bush yet. The guy is just doing some gardening while he waits for his team to wake up. Still, though, he's going to fall as well. In the meantime, the sites have changed hands. They're fighting for the trip cap, and they have got it. It's probably going to be pretty short-lived, but that is going to be horrible. Hemorrhaging tickets right now. We can see that's going to be really, really difficult to respond, as they kind of spread quite thin. Especially on this B flag, it's kind of fallen to David to take down Zia. Zia's kind of duck. Diving. Is he going to come around the corner? I don't think he's going to do it just yet. He doesn't need to, as David is just... Look how close these guys are.
My bad.
There we go. Finally, Zia, the defensive player. Patience pays off for him, and in the meantime, that C flag is still going on. It's a real brawl down there, and Horek is going to try and get in. He can't, because Frod is just a roaming animal right now, and with an AEK in hand, strapped to him. It's like a lion with a duct tape AEK.
Lion... attached to someone?
No, so like they've strapped an AEK to a lion, and it's just running around Zavod doing damage. Thank you.
Okay, I can see that. Not bad, not bad. I'll give you that one. But either way, Gaming Section, they maintain the tri-cap for quite a long time. It will finally broke at the A flag here. In the meantime, you can see Epsilon, well, they're struggling. I'm not actually exactly sure what's going on. I mean, the funny thing is, like, yeah, they chose Zavod, but French teams are renowned for Zavod, for playing it fantastic, for knowing how to be aggressive, how to change up the meta. We saw a lot of French teams start to work into this central area, into the middle, I guess we'll call it. I'll take us there when we do have a man close to it. Right here, this middle area, try to contest it, make sure you can't go for that cross into the C flag. And of course, the people in C on the under part of it, just watch this underpass. And from there, you kind of don't let anyone get through it all into the C flag, and you maintain it. But Jika, he's a one-man tank, as his name says, pushing over towards the A flag here by himself, picking up so many kills. He's currently at 7-2, but he's holding it back. He forced 3-4 people back towards that A flag to stay there.
And it's impressive stuff from them. They've got this BC hold, and it's really quite a favorable hold, purely because, like you were talking about, the control.
Oh, look at this. Sorry, Fraud. He's spotting 4 people. He just spotted 4 people crossing. Now he's going to go for the back cap. That was so smart out of him to not even shoot, not let his presence be known.
And that's really smart. That's something that we don't always notice when we're casting. We're always, we're casting the bloodshed. We can see these pushes, but something as subtle as that does sometimes go unnoticed. But you're absolutely spot on. That was fantastic work from Fod, and look how patient he's been in pushing into A. In the meantime, though, you've managed to see some serious bloodshed, and here he is, just sitting in a corner. Doesn't need to do anything, but who's that on response? We'll see Jika hanging out. He hasn't really left. He's going to finally go down on that B flight. B flight? Flag. But it was flag and sight. That's what I just combined. The B flight. I like that. Right, anyway, the B flag.
Slag.
No, that's not.
Slag.
Slag.
Yeah.
Anyway, B and C under control. But for how long? Hexus and Lieutenant Hunter are hungry for Epsilon blood, and they're going to find it. It's going to be in the form of Duke, and actually Duke's going to come out on top of that one. Heavily tagged up. Nades going out from him as well, just trying to delay his death, his inevitable death, as he's going to bring some trees down and mount the tanks as he approaches this flag. It does go down eventually, but we're still going to see that ticket slipping a little bit too far away from Epsilon. They're looking a bit weak at the knees. GC looking undeniably strong, but in terms of frags right now, you can see there is well, for me there isn't, sorry, a standout player. Look at the frags, 8, 6, 8, 6, 8. These guys could not be separated right now. This shows that it's a real team effort. There's not that one man shining as bright as we have seen in the past. And right now, 105-53. That's a huge deficit for the first half.
It is so far here, but Epsilon, they've got the 2-1 back. Now is their chance to hold on and maintain these 2 flags. They have no one actually currently at C, which is going to be a big problem with Fraud. Watching for the rotator on the backside. We'll spot out 1 man. But he doesn't actually not going to take the shot against him here. The rest of the team does go for the cap. So just kind of watching their backs, making sure that they can secure this. They have A, they have C. They have a 45 ticket advantage here, and this is going to be going on potentially, I want to say 80 at this rate. If they can keep this up here, and well, he rests his teammate to die. Actually, gets taken down as well. Hunter, fortunately, falling. This is going to be the track going back to Epsilon here. This is how kind of closely matched, even though the score doesn't reflect it, these 2 teams are, where, one team can hold tri-cap, can be quickly switched over towards the other. Now it's up to Epsilon. How many tickets can they take away here in the meantime?
And this is very key for them. They're trying to fight back from this deficit. They've got good positions to do so, actually. It's quite impressive. Mayek needs to take down more than just the one. He only gets one with the AEK, as Fraud did take him down. And look at this swarm of red over on the A flag. So they're going to try and battle to keep it under their control, stop the bleed caused by this trip cap, or at least slow it down, because right now those tickets are getting more and more level. And that's not what they want to hit. Look at this outside area. This is the mid area we were saying that they're going to be battling for control of, and right now it is coming up roses for GC. Through that mid area, looks like it's going to be David to try and receive them. He's going to come out, he's going to get caught in a crossfire. He falls to Lieutenant Hunter. He didn't have to pay one single point of HP hit points. And he does fall eventually as well. BC hold remaining steady at the moment, but for how long? It's falling, actually, people spawning on top of Marsu, and it's going to try and play the numbers game, but with only 2 players to defend it, David and Marsu, it's not looking too great. He can put as many bullets as he wants towards those stairs. He's going to fall eventually, and with that, the C flag changes hands, as does the A flag.
Mayek hasn't been spotted, though. He hasn't really been caught out here, so they could get a couple of respawns on top of him. He's actually going to jump straight into the flag carrier, get the respawns in eventually, as you see Marsu and him both do fall with Hunter and Hexus there, and Hexus picking up a second frag. So they will hold C. This should take away quite a few tickets here. Fork actually gets caught out. This could be very bad for them. It could be very dangerous, but looks like he actually will drop. Esol Fraud had no HP left, but he was still able to pick up the kill, able to shut him down here. Well, now the C flag going to be pushed on yet again here from a couple different directions. And let's see, can Epsilon take this back? This is basically kind of their last push if they want to be able to secure some sort of reduction in tickets against the other side here. And well, David pushing in. Won't actually spot out the man who kills him here. As you can see, it's a bloodbath already happening here, but it's going to go Gamers Connection's way. They're almost going to get a full squad wipe as Make eventually will go down, I want to say. But he's staying alive, staying on the top side. He eventually does fall. The squad wipe does come in. And as long as they maintain the 2-1, this should be it. They should be looking at about a 60-ticket advantage here coming into the second half.
And our GC have come out of the gate with some speed. They are really just leaving Epsilon in the dust at the moment. I thought that first half, I thought, you know, oh, this is Goldman Railway, this is GC's map. They chose this map. And, I mean, it's looking like Zavod could very well have an even better first-time score. Bearing in mind it was 52 tickets to GC's favour in the first half of the first map. And here on the second, it's looking to be around that 60 mark. In fact, 60 on the head. 60, right, that next to Zavod. And we have to consider that that is going to be another tough call for Epsilon.
60 on the head. 60 on the dot, maybe?
That was probably the word I was looking for. You might be right with that one. Dead on the head? 60 dead on the head? Nail on the head? Yeah, let's just back away from that. But regardless, we've got the scores in front of us.
On the head?
Yeah, let's just look at this for a second. Let's look at that. 17 for 8 for Hexis. And man, we didn't see too much of on Gorman Railway. And this time, obviously, showing up big time. Now, Epsilon didn't really have that standout player. A big credit, though, goes to Fraud, because that one play you highlighted, it was huge. Highlighting, was it 4 or 5?
Yeah, he caught 4 people crossing.
4 people in that mid-area, and that basically gave them a temporary wall hack and allowed them to position accordingly. So, really nice work from them. Really great half in general for GC, and a really bad... I mean, I don't think Epsilon really were playing their best there. That wasn't their A game.
Yeah, I kind of want to...
You agree?
I kind of want to bring it back to the whole thing of, like, I feel like they don't have their strategy set yet for their team. They've been obviously switching up their lineup, taking out Asterix, who was honestly a very crucial point. Key. Yeah, he was a crucial point to their whole lineup here. And obviously now they're going to be struggling a little bit, kind of finding their own, trying to find their own strategy around this to find their own form. And Gamer Section as well. I mean, they got taken down by MHSV, who was a team that kind of really started to show up at the end of last season. Definitely shown that they've been able to practice here, and I feel like Epsilon, like Fnatic, like Meteor Makers, like Dignitas, just didn't really practice too much since the last season ended. I think they're kind of just playing it cool here in the meantime. And that's I think that's what most teams really did. I know Fnatic for one definitely did do that.
Or just kind of lay low.
Yeah, they didn't really bother practicing too much. They're like, all right, we'll practice more when it comes around to time to actually show up and start picking up wins. Not really too much focus on becoming the best team right now when you have a lot of weeks to worry about it. But
the question that needs to be raised from that is, Fnatic, they're being all casual. They actually lost out. They got knocked out in the first cup. They didn't win that first cup, and so...
Epsilon?
Fnatic.
Oh, yeah.
So perhaps them being lax and being relaxed is actually costing them results that they shouldn't be foregoing. So that's something to be considered, but we are going to be jumping straight into this one. This is, of course, live in this second half of this second map. We're going to be jumping straight on with Duke, as he's going to be just kind of at the forefront of the aggression here. He's sitting in that middle area. Does actually catch, didn't manage to land the spot, and that's going to be detrimental to the initial push, as we do see that BC hold. There's a bit of a bloodshed brawl on B, and Zia coming out on top yet again. I think every time we've seen him on this B flag, he has successfully defended it. And with him capturing that one, we're going to see flags changing hands left, right, and center. We're not going to wait for the dust to settle, and I believe it's going to settle with a BC hold for GC.
All right, it's actually swapping sides a little bit here. Let's see if Epsilon can kind of go for the retake here. With the upside, I think where Epsilon was one of the first teams to actually go about this was if they're a man down and they're trying to retake a site, they wait for that man to spot him, then they hit the site from different angles, trying to obviously secure it, make it very difficult to hold on to. It's kind of... It's a lot of these little skirmishes going on in the game for domination, where it's, attacking, defending, and then obviously switching things around. Like, obviously, if you hold really well, then you push in, and they defend kind of thing, very back and forth. But, teams have been able to prove that they can figure out how your strategy works. They can cut off all those angles that you do come in from. And right now, we're seeing Gamers Connection, off to a decent start here. Remember, 60 tickets is that difference here between the two teams. And we're going to find out, Epsilon, can they take it back? They don't have a lot of tickets to work with. As you can see, they have, about 70 left. And they can't let 2 minutes slip by. They need to hold this 2-1 that they have. They need to be able to finally win out on these 1v1s and maybe even the 2v1s that they've lost out on prior. And you're seeing David right there. He's being shot from a couple of different angles on 1 HP right now. And eventually goes down.
Yeah, he tried. And we do see this is a bit risky. I don't agree with this play. Mayak has pushed on towards this site, on towards B. He's capturing B. They're going to try and go for the trip cap to kind of really go for a big, heavy dent out of those tickets. But it can cost them. It causes those random respawns. And a prime example of that random respawn is Lieutenant Hunter. As we can see, Mayak shooting toes and successfully doing just that. But in the meantime, Hunter has been able to just sneak in with a random respawn and pick up that C flag. And that is purely because of Mayak's decision to push for that B flag. Is that a poor decision? I would probably say so, because right now they have to play the waiting game. They have to hang around in these corridors and wait until they kind of get an idea, get some spots on where exactly the GC side is.
Have they not capped B over?
They have B, yeah, they do have the B flag. It's just
it
says it's being captured, which it's not. So we'll pretend that's not happening.
I don't actually know if it's fully capped or not.
Yeah, it is. It's under. You can see at the top. A flag, on the other hand, hasn't been, and we can actually see it was all on Jika as Fraud is just weaving back and forth. Does get a second for him. He's going to get the revive as well. Every ticket counts for these teams. As Mayak is charging through, struggling again to do the 1v1. Not really shining as bright as we expected him to. At the moment, 5 for 2 though. So he hasn't died as much as I thought he had. Regardless though, Jika, this man has already captured A sneakily. He's going to do exactly the same, rinse and repeat on B. But this could be a very short-lived trip cap, as I'm pretty sure that A site's going to change towards Epsilon's control.
Right now, Mayak trying to hold on the cross here in middle, as you can see. 97 tickets left here for Games Connection, 108 left here for the side of Epsilon, though. It's really about 47 at this point. And you can see right now, I feel like Games Connection is able to out-8 Epsilon. They're able to out-rotate them. You can see Fraud going for the A flag here. He's going to be able to pick that up. C5 going to be contested here as Hexa is going to be dropping down. Spots out Duke, so obviously going to make the call that, guys, need help at C. We need to go for the retake here, at least hold them in. They're getting wiped down here. You see Hort picking up 2, David picking up 1. And that will be the C flag turned over. Now Jika looks like he might even leave this B flag, realizing that he can't hold this in a 1-on-4. Maybe wait for a little bit of a response to come in to help him out here. But just trying to stay alive. Stay on the backside of B. And unfortunately, he will be taken down. So Epsilon going to pick up the 2-1 here. Hunter trying to at least prevent that from happening, as you can see. Trying to push in. One man actually rushes him. It's going to be David, I believe. And David will eventually fall to Gia from behind here. So Hunter will get back alive. They will maintain B here, but now they have no one at the A5, so you know for a quick rotate towards C. And they're slowly whittling away here at the points that Epsilon does have. Yeah, this isn't that really strong performance that they needed. Considering the deficit that they're running at, they needed to go for a trip cap that they held. Or in fact, I would have been so happy if they did just held on to that AC hold. That kind of greedy B grab that they did go for may or may not have costed it. Cost them. The thing is, I feel like a lot of teams just kind of, without even thinking, go for
keep
constant
moving.
pushes. Yeah, I mean, it seems like Epsilon don't want to play the defense game to just hold on to 2. They've never really been a team to do that, to just hold on to 2 and the other team trying to attack over and over again.
And it works. It really does work. We see MYM do it all the time. You know, they don't necessarily get greedy. They may send Safe or someone like that over, but they're quite happy to sit on 2 flags. And right now is a prime example. Epsilon, they have BC, and if you look at the tabletop, look where their players are. Charging towards A. Charging towards A.
They're bringing the fight to him. They're bringing the fight to him, but...
Why?
Because that's the way they play.
Silly Epsilon.
I mean, right now they need something big to happen. They only have 26 seconds left to work with here, but they've been able to take Games Connection down to 69. All GC need to do is just put a couple of these 1v1s, and then they're pretty much secured. And Hunter will get taken from the backside. They will lose C, though. As you can see, Epsilon going to be fortunately having no one there to defend it.
Yeah, because there's no one there to defend it. I'm getting almost angry at these guys. Epsilon, you've got an easy BC hold if you just sat there, didn't charge towards them and die. This could very well go their way.
They could. It's going to be a little bit tough, them, as they have 25 tickets left to work with here still. But let's see. What can they do about this? You can see it looks like it might be flanked from the backside out of Mayak here. He's going to come around, potentially spot out the one man defending it. But then again, he's one of the last men standing in his squad. Going to drop straight down here. Will be taken out from the side, though. A lot of his teammates spawning in, though, to help out. And it looks like they will be able to take C back here. Right now, Games Connection aren't reading into this enough. They're not, able to get to the B flag while they do have that C flag cap. They sent too many men back towards A. And unfortunately, it doesn't really work out for them in the end.
We'll see how it goes. They've managed to return B and C under their control, and they're looking a bit more passive. This is what we needed to see. Right now, actually, we're seeing bloodshed on the A flag. I think it was behind Marsu, and he's charging for A. I'm going to question that decision. With that trip cap, they're going to start bringing those tickets a little bit too far down, and straight away, they're going to see the loss of both C and B because of Greedy Marsu. Somebody tell him off. Somebody put him in his place. And the Greedy Marsu leaving his team, abandoning the C defense, has cost them the BC hold that they really needed to keep hold of.
Well, now the question is, can Epsilon take this back quick enough? They have 14 tickets left to work with against a 36 on the side of Gamers Connection. Hort pushing from the lower side, able to pick up 1 kill, now 2. Securing the kill on a fraud. They will take C back here. In the meantime, Gamers Connection haven't even started rotating towards A. The random respawn coming on the southwest side. Probably one of the worst spawns that they can have happen right now. And Epsilon, they very well could do it. They have 9 tickets left to work with here. And as long as they keep playing it safe like this, all they do is just take away 32 more, 31 more off the opposite side. And you will have secured yourself a win here in the second map and taken it to a third map on Parasail Storm. But again, B going to be maintained. They're still trying to push out. They're still trying to be aggressive. And you can see Epsilon, they're trying to, or not Epsilon, sorry, Gamers Connection, they're trying to get lucky with the random respawn. Look at this perfect spawn coming in right in the middle. They're going to cap C. They could even hit A at the meantime here if Hort can't hold on to this. And this could be the end of it right here. 20 tickets left to work with Hort. Going to pick up the 1v1 though. And we'll stop the A push from coming in. So Epsilon going to maintain the 2-1. But do they know Hexis is back here? Do they know he's currently lurking?
He's going to be sitting, lying in wait. Don't forget those 60 tickets. They have 7 to work with Epsilon. They have to find the right balance between kind of overall aggression and just passiveness. Enough passiveness to maintain sights. And right now, they're struggling to do just that. We're seeing GC players falling. They've only got 12 tickets. It's 12-7 right now. This is a surprising comeback from Epsilon. They're playing it so very, very passive. We see Hexis charging towards that A flag. This could be
this 1v1 against
this could be
Marsu.
magic. This is a very important 1v1. Hexis knows there's a player coming to him. He can see it. He's been spotted. Surely going to take it out. It was Marsu, the man who's been struggling to push towards the site at the right time, has gone down. And now 6 tickets to 9. It's an AC hold though in favor of GC.
That's it. They can't respawn in.
GC can't respawn in. People are saying GG, and that could very well. We see the remaining tickets tick away, and GC have held on to it.
Ended up cut a little bit close here, as we can see, with only 9 tickets remaining. But they come out at the end. They come out to actually take down Epsilon here and take us into, or take themselves into the grand finals.
They had potential. They did, though.
Yeah, they did. I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of their play style to be really aggressive to push out like that. And obviously, you know, it kind of failed for them. And well, that does obviously allow them to move on to the finals. We have Fnatic versus Meteor Makers coming up next here in just a few seconds. And we're going to find out, obviously, to be able to take that one. You're thinking really hard about this.
Hello. Yeah, so that was the first of the 3 games we're bringing to you. We've got another semi-final coming up next, which is going to be, I believe, MYM up against Don't Leave Me Hanging.
I just said it like 5 seconds ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was in autopilot.
He's too good to listen to me. It's okay.
No, I was concentrating on all this vision mixing.
Fnatic versus Meteor Makers.
Fnatic, yeah. That's right. Oh, fantastic. That is going to be a fantastic game. So looking forward to that one, guys. We're going to go to a short break because we're going to try and find out exactly what the teams and the players are doing. But we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.